Yost will be on the bench to start the game.
Yeah, and this young man, he's a good catcher. Should do the job for Warren. Throws the ball nicely. Of course, he's a big leaguer. You'd expect all those things to happen because this is the highest level.
Alcides Escobar was 1 for 5 yesterday. Ended up scoring the Royals' only run. The Royals have scored just 2 runs in their last 2 games. 1 run yesterday, 1 run on Sunday against St. Louis. Escobar takes a fastball strike. We are underway. In the Royals' 8 games before Sunday, they were averaging about 5.5 runs per game.
And that's the reason they were winning so many games. That is the key. If you can somehow try to find a way through manufacturing runs or gappers, homers, they'll take anything. Royals know how to play the game. It's nice to talk to people behind the scenes up here in the media area, ex-players, people who've been around baseball, talking about the excitement the Royals bring in their brand of baseball. They are no secret.
One thing the Royals have done all season, this is game number 45, they have avoided losing 3 games in a row. They have had no significant losing streak. Escobar was reaching at a pitch down and away, and Warren will throw him out. Now the Royals have been so good this year in the opening games of series. And the loss yesterday was only the 3rd time the Royals have lost game 1 of a series. But the first 2 times they came back and won game 2. So there really hasn't been hardly any negative momentum in Ned Yost's dugout all year.
No, and that's rare. Through this many games already, I mean, you're going to have peaks and valleys. Everybody knows that, but man, for this early in the season, I think they haven't lost 3. Wow. That's really good.
Big curveballs in for a strike to Mike Moustakas. He was 0 for 3 yesterday and was hit by a pitch. It was the 7th time he's been hit by a pitch this year. And that's a foul ball. Home plate umpire Marty Foster ruling that Moustakas hit it off of his front foot, and it's 1-2.
Checking that bat for any hairline fractures. Moose has hit .357 off of righties this year. That's 3rd best in the league. They're going to pull him over in the infield. 3 guys over. Now Headley's moving to shortstop, leaving it wide open for Moose. And that tells me too that Warren is going to pitch Moose inside. He's not going to leave him anything on the outside if he can possibly do that.
That road average for Moustakas, .371, is the 3rd highest road average in the American League. Look at that crowd. I don't know if I've been to either Yankee Stadium and seen a crowd like this one with so many open sections, open rows of seats. Pulled over to Teixeira. He'll go to the bag unassisted, and Adam Warren has 2 ground ball outs.
Yeah, they're all spread out here tonight.
This for a 23-22 Yankee team. And even with the win yesterday, they have still lost 10 of their last 12. But in the East, that only puts them a half game back of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay just 2 games above 500. That's good for first place. Kane jumps on the first pitch and fouls it away. Lorenzo was one of the regulars at Ned Yost. Tried to get out of the game early once the game appeared to be out of reach. Let him have the rest of the day off. He was 1 for 2 with a single. And Gerard Dyson came on and had a couple of hits. No balls, 2 strikes.
For right-handed hitters to utilize that short porch in right field here in Yankee Stadium, you want to really be alert for pitches that are up and away. And all you have to do is just really kind of just get a little back of that back underside, and it'll fly out there. Righties can go deep here to right field almost as easily as lefties, but you just got to get the right pitch. It's got to be up.
That is up and in, 1-2. Wet infield dirt.
That's good.
Good for running, right?
It is, but also it keeps the ball down. Because yesterday, the infield surface was hard. I was out there watching them take ground balls, and it looked like the ball was coming up several times, and I talked to Escobar about it.
Team strikes out on a pitch down. Adam Warren has a 1-2-3 first inning. And now Jason Vargas will take the mound for the Royals for the first time in 3 weeks. Without Jacoby Ellsbury on the disabled list, who is leading them in most offensive categories, the Yankees still came up with 5 home runs and 14 runs yesterday. Brett Gardner takes over the leadoff responsibilities with Ellsbury out, and they'll be facing Jason Vargas back in the driver's seat. And the injury was unfortunate because the Royals first of all lost his starting pitcher, and Vargas, after a slow start, was starting to put things back together in his 2 starts before going down.
He was, and that's the positive you take. But when you miss 20 days, it's all about timing. He's got to be able to establish all of his pitches early here in the first inning. I mean, he's got to be able to work his fastball. That's 88 to 91, 92. He's got to work that down, curveball down, changeup down, and the fastball, he cannot leave it up anywhere, or they'll take advantage because he's not overpowering. He's got to really focus down using that defense. And he will pitch inside, though. He has to do that to open up the plate for his other pitches. Righties only hit 250 off him this year, 3 homers. Lefties 333 with 1 homer. Beauty. And he's looking for his first career win against the Bombers. He's 0-4 with a 6.75. I was a little surprised to see he hadn't beat the Yankees in his career. Perfect time today.
Ooh, man. Good looking pitch there.
It caught some of the zone.
And then Gardner chases a changeup down and away. So a good start for Vargas. One down in the bottom of the first inning, and now Ford will give us a look at the Royals defensively.
Well, you can't blame the fans at all for that. Lorenzo Cain, he is the best, hands down, in the American League. And there's a couple of guys out there that might be worthy, but Lorenzo Cain has really opened up the whole world's eyes as to how to cover that ground out there in center field. Keep on voting, folks, even though there's good news on the All-Star front. A lot of your Royals are in there, but keep it up. We still got a couple more months of voting to go.
Great news, too, as if the voting stopped today, the Royals would have Mike Moustakas starting at third base. They would have Salvador Perez behind the plate. We already told you that he leads all voting in the American League, not just at his position. Lorenzo Cain would be starting in center field.
That's wonderful news. But it's early.
And that's not all of it.
We're not done?
No.
Who else?
Eric Hosmer. Now, Eric Hosmer's in an interesting spot because Miguel Cabrera leads at first base. And if Cabrera wins the fan vote and the players vote, then Eric Hosmer, if he finishes second, is automatically on the roster. So he's second right now at first base. Alex Gordon is third among outfielders, so he would be a starter.
Wow. You're right. There was more.
And Alcides Escobar would be the starter.
Oh, you're sure warming me up. And Vargas is too. 2 up, 2 down, 2 punches. So far, so good. Talked about mixing them early. That changeup, it's lethal against righties. Especially coming out of that same arm stroke as that fastball. It really can fool you. How does that look?
That would be the starting lineup.
And the rest of the league.
Right.
It's beautiful.
That's some guy named Cabrera and some fella named Trout. Altuve.
Oh, sorry. That was a little too late. But they're stars. Now, Alex Rodriguez, he's a believer in the Royals and their defense especially. Got to talk to him before the game. And I said, yeah, he was going, you guys, their team is like the Harlem Globetrotters. They invent plays. And I said, yeah, did you see that play down the right field line that Paulo Orlando made? He goes, yeah, I'm the one who hit it. He said, when I hit it, I thought that's a sure double because he was 40 yards away from that ball. By the time I hit first base, I'm heading to second. He's already slid and caught it. It's up throwing the ball. He couldn't believe it.
That's fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, with everything the Yankees did yesterday, 14 runs, 14 hits, 5 home runs. Alex Rodriguez was just a 2 for 4 day, couple of singles, 1 run scored. He's had no luck against Vargas. And he just pulls that one foul up the third base side. Nice play by the ball boy. This is usually the best time for Jason Vargas. First time through the order. He is not one of those what is somewhat typical for a pitcher, where if you're going to get him early. Most of the time you're really going to struggle against Vargas early in the game. And the league's hitting 146 against him first time through. And even after missing 3 weeks, he has 2 strikeouts to begin his outing. And now a walk to Rodriguez.
That's all right. He's missing down. What Dave Island wants to see out of him today. He's a little leery about the fastball up because to righties or lefties, fastball up, you know, in this small ballpark here can be hit for homers.
Mark Teixeira, another big bat that was mostly quiet yesterday. He was hitless, 0 for 4 with a walk and a run scored.
The Yankee offense against left-handed starters this year hasn't been that impressive.
It's a long way to left center field here, but Teixeira puts it into the Royals bullpen, and that is 6 home runs in 9 innings for the Yankees in the first 2 games of the series.
Salvi's setting up on the outer half of the plate, and it just drifted over just an inch or two. That's all it takes. Hitters look for half-inch to inch mistakes. Teixeira is able to get his arms extended and catch it underneath that baseball. I was just getting ready to say that their offensive numbers against lefties are 237 now with 14 homers. Dave's a little bit concerned about the long ball.
That's a part of the ballpark where you don't normally worry about here. I mean, it's 399 to left center field at Yankee Stadium. Normally, if you can keep the hitters out there, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Right.
Especially with Lorenzo Cain and Alex Gordon patrolling and protecting that area. Good changeup to Headley, and it's 1-2. Headley batted second yesterday afternoon, and he homered 2 batters into the game. And Vargas ends up striking out the side, but in between, a 2-out walk to Rodriguez and a 2-run home run to Teixeira. Fans at Tuesday's game will receive a Forever Royal t-shirt presented by Hy-Vee. The gates will open at 5:30, so make sure you get there early for your t-shirt and cheer on the Royals as they take on the Cleveland Indians. So again, that's Tuesday, and for tickets go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday or call 1-800-6-ROYALS as we have the Indians and the Rangers during the next homestand. Cleveland for 3, Texas for 3. Eric Hosmer was 1 out of 3 yesterday. Also drew a walk. Pounds that foul into the plate. Still 0-2.
Talk about that short porch in right, 314 down the right field line here. It's very inviting for a left-handed hitter. Haas knows it. He said, I have to think middle away and react in. So he's thinking 399 to the opposite field. They are pitching so far, the lefties, inside, and rather well. Adam Warren, he's got that slider working. It's a true slider. It's got nice downward depth to it. He's going to throw it back to back at times. His changeup has some good sink to it away from the lefties, but mainly fastball slider.
Ball one to Kendrys Morales. Let me ask you this, do you think left-hand hitters, and you mentioned right-hand hitters as well, but I'm going to stick with the lefties, how much should they be thinking about that short porch in right field? I mean, it's so inviting, and yet how much you want your hitters up there looking for a pitch to pull to right?
Sometimes it can play into the pitcher's hand. If you're thinking in, all he has to do is throw it off the plate in like he did to Hosmer, and he can get him to swing over the top of it. But see, right now Morales is thinking the opposite field, as he's taking those two shots to the opposite field. He knows that his eyes will tell him when it's a pitch he can pull and get out of the park. That's how good they are at what they do. They're professional hitters, and they're going to look there. But see, there it is. He's being effective on that little slider down and in, and the Royals are going to have to discipline themselves to stay off of that if they're going to have any success. Because you have it in the back of your mind, but you trust your eyes.
Boy, that's a nasty pitch.
It's good downward angle he's got.
Three straight strikeouts for Warren going back to the first inning, and now Alex drives it to left center. It's slicing and over to Gardner for the out. So Adam Warren has begun his outing with 2 perfect innings, and New York has a 2-0 lead. A 2-0 lead, and our Toyota League leaders shows us that the Yankees are second in the American League and third in the major leagues in home runs with 58. That includes Teixeira's 14th of the year. The Yankees have hit 6 of those in this series with the Royals. Big curveballs in for a strike to Carlos Beltran, who did not play yesterday, but he carries a 13-game hitting streak into the game tonight.
Beltran only 34 at-bats from the right side this year. Not doing a whole lot. Just hitting a .176.
That's the second longest hitting streak in the major leagues. Buster Posey has a 16-game hitting streak. That'll be out of play. Beltran in his second year with the Yankees. He spent a lot of time here in New York playing for the Mets. That ball's hit well to left center field. Kane makes the play. So that just shows you how hard that Mark Teixeira hit his ball, because a lot of times in this ballpark, and again it's 399 out there, but a lot of times that sounded good off Beltran's bat, but it just kind of dies out there.
No, and you know, sometimes the lesser sound means the pure strike. That means you got it clean, and that's what the difference between that ball and Teixeira's. This was off the end of Beltran's bat, just about maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe an inch. Sounded good and a good swing. But that's the part of the ballpark Vargas wants to try to keep the hitters.
Stephen Drew had one of the 5 home runs yesterday. That ball is pulled foul. 0-2. You and I had a chance to visit with Ned Yost and talk about 2 plays yesterday that we wondered if it was breaking today's baseball code, because it certainly would have broken yesteryear's baseball code, and that was the bunt by Stephen Drew in the first inning, and then Gerard Dyson attempting to steal a base late in the game, or at least later in the game, with the Royals down by 10 runs. Vargas has his 4th strikeout. He got Drew with a fastball down and in. Fox Sports Kansas City invites you to join current and former Royals players on the field July 23rd for Diamond of Dreams. Enjoy a menu from local restaurants, live music, and a fireworks show for charity. You can buy tickets now at Royals.com/Diamond of Dreams. Hud and I have been to that event, and it is a wonderful event at Kauffman Stadium.
It's great to get on the field. Tremendous fireworks show.
Well, we'll continue the thought in the next half inning as Hosmer throws out John Ryan Murphy. 3 up, 3 down for Vargas. The Yankees lead 2-0. Two perfect innings. So anyway, we were chatting to Ned chatting with Ned before the game tonight, and you and I wondered, even though it wasn't the worst play in the world, but the Yankees had scored 5 runs, 5 batters into the game, and Stephen Drew put the bunt down. Jeremy Guthrie ended up throwing him out. It raised some eyebrows. And then, as we mentioned later in the game, Dyson trying to steal second base in a 10-run game, and Ned didn't have a problem with either play.
Well, when you're down by 10 late in the game like that, really, your run don't mean that much. And he got thrown out for the 3rd out. But, you know, Ned is the field general. If he's okay with it, that's all that matters. I don't think Girardi say anything. However, Guthrie did drill the next hitter after Drew pushed that bunt down there. Now, I wouldn't say he did that on purpose.
Joe Girardi, maybe he didn't say anything about it, but he did use his challenge, you know, which begs the question, would you use your challenge when you're up by 10 runs? I mean, I think that was his answer to that. Now, Ned's answer to what Dyson did was that, yes, it appeared to be an insurmountable lead, and yet that's how Gerard Dyson scores runs. Whether you agree with what Ned's saying or not, was that Gerard Dyson hits singles for the most part. He advances by running, and he's still playing hard. He's still trying to score runs, and that's how he does it. He's not a home run hitter and just trying to chip away. You never know. The Yankees scored 8 runs in 1 inning. Maybe the Royals could score 8 runs in 1 inning. So that was Ned's defense of Dyson because the Royals were down. Sal just got a piece of that pitch, so he's still alive. Now, of course, the flip side, if you're up by 10, or if you're up by 4 or 5 runs, Ned was telling us after the 5th or 6th inning, then you don't want your guys bunting
or stealing.
Right.
Because, you know, to the opponents, they're like, you know, they're already beating us, and theirs is a big curve. So Warren is using his slider to finish left-handed batters off, and now he used that big curveball to Salvi. Slows it down. Good 12-6 rotation. Lifts the knuckle. They call that a spike curve, but that really helps with the torque of that middle finger coming down. Good overhand curve. Coming into this game, Adam Warren 44 in a 3rd innings, 18 walks. Now that's not real bad, but second time through, and even here through the end, you're gonna have to be a little bit more selective because the break is so sharp. They're not strikes, so the Royals are gonna have to spit on that pitch and make him bring that up, and then they can get to him.
Drew runs to the hole and turns all the way around and throws out Infante.
They're expecting Infante to pull, and he just got it off the end of the bat. If he can barrel that a little bit harder, it would have gotten through. Drew, a good second baseman, good middle infielder. He plays shortstop as well. And he could end up moving over shortstop if Gregorius can't continue to be as consistent as they expected him to be.
One on Paulo Orlando. He was hitless yesterday, but had a good game defensively. We were talking last inning about the play that he made in right field on Alex Rodriguez base hit. Hustling to the corner, going into a feet first slide, popping up, making a strong throw to second base late in the game when the Royals were out of the game.
In the clubhouse before the game, I was in there and they were talking about that they were laughing at Escobar because Escobar couldn't catch the ball and apply the tag. Esky said it's because he threw me a changeup. It didn't look like a changeup. He got that ball in pretty quick. And they were messing with Hosmer a little bit. It's fun. Clubhouse, that's why a lot of ex-players miss the clubhouse. Because there's a lot of bantering. A lot of guys getting on each other.
9 up, 9 down for the Royals against Adam Warren, who is pitching with a 2-0 lead. Best moments of last year's playoffs with 4 unique bobbleheads. Each bobblehead celebrates an iconic Royals moment from each round of the postseason. You can continue your collection next Saturday with a Lorenzo Cain bobblehead commemorating one of his incredible diving catches from Game 3 of the Division Series against the Angels. That's presented by Farmland and available to the first 15,000 fans. So make sure you get there early on Saturday. That's Game 2 with the Texas Rangers. And you can get your tickets now. You better get them now, as the Royals are selling out just about every game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday so far this year. Tickets at Royals.com. Popped up by Didi Gregorius. Sal running to the screen and just has enough room for the first out.
Salmi, he sees it, he tracks it, he knows it's going to stay in the yard. Throws his mask away so he didn't trip on it. Good focus, concentration. That'll help Vargas. Vargas, you know, for the most part, he's looking good. He's hitting his spots. He's keeping the ball down. The one bad pitch to Teixeira, it was on the outer half and it was elevated just enough for Teixeira to barrel it. That's the difference. 4 punch outs already for Vargas. His stuff looks good. He's going to have to really concentrate on that location.
Brett Gardner struck out against Vargas. When the Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees at Kauffman Stadium, they did a great job of minimizing Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner, their number 1 and number 2 hitters. They were just 2 for 17 in that 3-game series. Well, now Ellsbury's on the DL and Gardner is leading off. Gardner had a big game yesterday. 3-run home run, double, 3 runs scored. That's hit well, but Infante is there, and it goes under his glove.
That's a rare miss. Sometimes, though, the lip of that outfield grass and the dirt there, sometimes that can cause an issue. Lots of times up here as a broadcaster, I'll watch for that and see if the ball hits there, but let's see where that was. Nah, he had a chance to catch it before it hit the outfield grass. That ball's moving pretty good. He just missed it.
It's an error on Infante. And just his third error of the year. Good pitch to Chris Young, who is also a strikeout victim. We will see the Royals Chris Young tomorrow afternoon as we wrap up this series, which means we probably won't see the Yankees Chris Young. As we pointed out during the homestand, our Chris Young has given their Chris Young a bad time.
Was he 0 for 18 or something?
He was 0 for 16 with 8 strikeouts or something like that.
That's tough. Well, Vargas, he's looking to put him in the lane here. He's induced 3 double play balls, ground balls this year. Last year, Vargas, he induced 11. Now, he's good at keeping the ball down and using that defense. So what he wants, a little 6-4-3 right here.
Changeup. Really had good command of that pitch so far tonight. Two and two. Now it's interesting looking at the infield dirt tonight. The area around first base is dry, and I imagine it's hard to get traction. But how about the area in front of second base? I don't think I've seen this before, and I guess this would be designed to maybe slow down a slide into second.
Looks like that. Remember the Tigers last year? Another strikeout. Tigers last year, they had that kitty litter around the base, first base, and they said it was to absorb the moisture.
Right. Did you notice though that they don't have it this year in Detroit because they're running now?
Yeah, there you go.
Funny. But how about the area in front of second base? I mean, I guess you can try and slow down the Royals and getting good traction as they would leave first base, and then a patch of dry dirt leading up to second base. Vargas has struck out 5 in 2 2/3 innings, and that already ties his season high.
Actually, if that is to slow any sliders down, sliding base runners, that's a good thing. Most of our guys go head first, and lots of times they overslide the bag anyway. You can't.
That's just so obvious.
Yeah. Gardner, he hasn't even attempted a steal. Tonight, while he's been over there at first, he hasn't even acted like he wants to steal. He's got good speed.
Upstairs to Alex Rodriguez, 2-0, and Vargas walked him in the first inning in front of Teixeira's 2-run home run. Teixeira is waiting on deck, and Vargas would like to end the inning right here. I've got the inside, 2-1.
Good spot. Alex is looking up and out over, and there's not any place that can hold him in here. He's really strong. Got power to all fields. Good spot. In order to retire right-handed batters effectively, Vargas is going to continue to get that call and put it in that location.
Way out in front of a changeup, and his follow-through took him down to a knee.
exactly what that pitch is designed to do. Disrupt the timing, get the hitter out ahead. Excellent location there, making A-Rod foul it off in case he calls it a strike. So you got him a little bit on the defense now. But okay, that's middle. That's right there in the middle. He missed it.
And that was out over the plate. Sal wanted that pitch in. Gardner goes first to third. Runners at first and third with 2 down.
Yeah, Vargas is trying to strike out A-Rod, but that's just a little bit too much to the plate, and now it's just covered it. Line shot. I like how Gardner kept running even when he hit third base. He's trusting Joe Espada, the third base coach there, to stop him. And every third base coach will tell you, I can only send you if you're giving me an effort around the bag. Some guys pull the chute out before they get to third base, and you can't send him home because he's not running. But Gardner, he was coming hard. Exactly what a third base coach wants. See him? He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. And, you know, he held it.
Infante out in his shallow center field. So this time Vargas gets to Shera. The Yankees strand 2. And at the end of 3, New York leads 2-0.
Of Kansas Hospital injury report takes a look at Danny Duffy, placed on the 15-day DL yesterday with left bicep tendonitis, that retroactive to his last game. See the stats so far this year. It struggled the last few times out. Good news, guys, on Danny. He was injected with a cortisone shot on Friday. Was hoping to play catch as early as yesterday. They waited one more day, still feeling a little bit of it, but he did play catch. It went as planned, went very well. He'll continue to ramp that up every single day, and then we'll see going forward if he ends up with a minor league rehab start or not. But all signs positive with Danny Duffy.
Remember the scare that he gave us when we were here in September last year when he threw one pitch in a start and came out of the game, and similar ailment, similar symptoms.
No, that's good news. They're going to need Duffy this season. Escobar swinging out of the strike zone, a little bit too aggressive. These guys, they know they haven't scored a lot of runs the last couple of games, and that was even out of the zone. Almost got it by Headley, but I think if they could just be a little more selective now, second time through, they may be able to get some guys on and do something with it. But so far, Adam Warren, he's mixing them very nicely. First time through, they didn't get him. Maybe it's be the second time.
And so far, the league hasn't gotten him second time through. That's a tough pitch to hit right there. 94 at the knees, down and out for the outer part of the plate. But that's the kind of pitch that Moustakas is hitting to left field this year, and they're pulled over to the right side. That's not the kind of pitch you want to throw to him if you want to have him pull it into the defense.
No, and first time up, he got him to ground out to Teixeira over there. But he's pitching him inside. This time he's going away, but those holes, there's plenty of holes in that left side for Moose.
.25 hits to left field. He had 17 all of last year.
If you'd have showed that hits by direction last year to people, say this is what Moose is going to do next year, people would say no, and he might get one there.
Moustakas beats it out. Heck of an effort by Stephen Drew, and the fans appreciate that. The Royals have their first hit.
Yeah, I can see watching on contact. Moose is talking to it too. Come on, get there, get there. Drew out of nowhere made it close. Moose, good hustle. But like I said, if you just showed the fans the hit chart of Moose last year, what he's going to do this year, they would say, no, those are fabricated numbers. Moose only wishes he could hit to left field like that because he couldn't buy a hit to left.
How about that stat?
That's beautiful. No wonder. He says, hitting second, I get to come up first in the first inning every game, and I'm a different player now because I'm involved. He feels like he's got the speed to do it. Gotta like it. Baseball is an attitude. It's a mentality. Only the positive survive it. And Moose endured the negative side of it for, he had his dose of humble pie for a couple of years, 2-3 in the big leagues, and everybody gets a taste of it. But Moose had a whole pie, and he's surviving.
Kane hits into bad luck. He hit that right on the nose, but Gardner goes back to get it. It has been the year of how many times did Moustakas do that last year? Well, this season, Mike Moustakas has 164 at-bats and 7 infield hits. Last year, 457 at-bats and 4 infield hits.
Wow, amazing.
He's a transformed player.
Now, Moose does have a stolen base this year. He's been caught a couple of times, but he's got a bag. Hosmer's looking for a mistake to tie this up. And it doesn't even have to be a mistake for Hosmer to get it. He can hit Warren's pitch.
Headley runs to the grass. Hosmer's out, so the Royals in the 4th inning. They get an infield hit against Warren. 2-0 New York. You call 1-800-PICK-ATT. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Thoroughbred Ford. For great deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Vargas pitches low to Chase Headley. Jason struck him out in the first inning. Yankees scored their 2 runs on a Mark Teixeira home run in the first. It is squirted foul, and it's 1-1. Vargas struck out the first 2 hitters he faced tonight, pitching for the Royals for the first time in 3 weeks. Then Rodriguez walked, and Teixeira hit the 2-run home run, and then Vargas came back with another strikeout. He has already tied his season high with 5 strikeouts, and he's ahead of Headley 1-2.
He's got his scalpel out, there's no doubt. He's looking for a little offense now to help him out.
Headley, the middle of 3 straight switch hitters in the middle of the Yankees order. Mark Teixeira hitting 4th, Headley 5th, Carlos Beltran on deck hitting 6th. Otherwise, Joe Girardi has most of his left-hand bats on the bench, with Vargas on the mound. Garrett Jones, Brian McCann, the rookie Slade Heathcott, who had a big game yesterday and hit his first major league home run. Fouled away again. It was 3 weeks ago, but Vargas, in his most previous start, allowed a 2-run home run into the first inning like he did tonight, and then he really coasted after that. He retired 17 of the last 19. Now 3-2 on Headley. He has retired 8 of 10 since the home run tonight. So there's the loss, or rather the win against the Indians. Just that 2-run home run in the first, and had very little trouble after that. On the ground to Moustakas. And the Royals third baseman throws out the Yankee first baseman. Hosmer stretches into foul territory. 1 down. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House.
Want to know about a routine play? Moustakas is perfect on this. 2-hopper, 1-2. Watch it. Taps his glove, gets his feet. It's so important, young players on the left side of the infield, that you get some momentum going towards your target where you're throwing. You tap your feet, that helps, or you tap your glove, it gets your feet in order, and the timing is perfect. And to be a Gold Glover, you must make the routine play 10 out of 10 times. And once in a while, make a spectacular play.
Carlos Beltran drops it into left field and has a 14-game hitting streak.
Good stance, doesn't have a lot of movement. He just takes his hands right to the ball. See the bat angle? It's already back. Hits off his front side. He's able to jump on and keep it hot. Respectful guy. I like him. I don't know him that well, but he walked over from the batting cage and he said hi to me. And I was like, oh, hey, Carlos, how you doing? A lot of big leaguers, when they're busy at work like that, they're around their batting cage. They don't notice anything around, but he did. It made me feel good.
At times as a Royal, he was a misunderstood player. He plays the game effortlessly at times, gracefully, and there were times where it came across as not giving 100%. Very thoughtful, even as a young player. He worked very, very hard on his English. I mean, his English improved dramatically every year. He never shied away from interviews.
That's good.
You always got the feeling, too, about Carlos, and I'm sure it's the same now. I mean, he's been around for a long time. I still can't believe he's 38 years old, but he's always been his own man. You know, I mean, he's never been one to follow the crowd. He's very comfortable in his own skin, very secure. That is 6 strikeouts for Vargas, a new season high as he gets Stephen Drew for a second time tonight. 2 down in the 4th inning.
Nice. Good little slider. Curve, whatever you want to call that. He's going to put that exactly where he wants it. Look at Blanton getting ready.
Ned Yost mentioned that he only wanted Vargas to go around 70 to 75 pitches. And that's number 68. It's a base hit to left field for John Ryan Murphy. And Ned's plan, and that's why he stayed away from Joe Blanton yesterday, was that he planned to piggyback Vargas and Blanton. And now Vargas is getting close to that pitch limit. So Beltran at second, Murphy at first. Didi Gregorius at the plate. He swung at the first pitch he saw from Vargas in the 3rd inning and fouled out to Salvador Perez. This time Gregorius lays off the pitch. Sal liked it. He pointed his glove out at Vargas, saying that's exactly where we wanted it. You would figure that teams would shy away from putting lefties in against Vargas. He's been pretty good against lefties in his career, but this year he's had some trouble. We're only talking about 5+ starts, but lefties are collectively about 1 for 3. 1 for every 3 they come to the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you know, I like Vargas's stuff tonight. I like his rhythm. He's in good timing tonight. He looks good. The 1 pitch. He's given up 4 hits. The 1 pitch to Teixeira has been the difference.
Oh, it's the 2nd time he hasn't gotten that call to a left-hand batter.
But you know, no body language of disappointment. That's a beautiful pitch right there. That's exactly where you want it.
Close enough to be a strike.
Some pitchers will hesitate as they get the ball back with a little body language there, but he didn't.
That is a borderline pitch 2 pitches ago. It's close enough to be a strike, but not obvious enough to warrant a protest because it's called a ball.
He's had a couple of taxing innings, but I like his rhythm in his confidence that he shows with his body language.
And that's a little outside, and Sal is nodding his head in approval at Vargas.
And now Salvi's alerting the infielders. He just was before this shot here. 3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be going. The play's at first base. Just a mental reminder to the infielders.
So 75 pitches. So this is most likely Vargas's last hitter, no matter what happens. Brett Gardner's on deck, and that would represent the beginning of the 3rd time to the order for the Yankees. One runner goes. It's grounded to Moustakas. Throw is low. Hosmer bails him out. And that's the inning. So Vargas gives the Royals 4 innings in his return. He gives up 2 runs. Royals are coming up in the 5th, down 2-0.
And we may see a lot of these guys in the All-Star game. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard takes a look at the first ballot results at this point. And look at that. Gordon, Kane, Escobar, Moustakas, and Perez would all be starters if the voting ended today. Keep on voting at Royals.com/vote. Guys, I want to put this in perspective. 9 different players in Royals history have started in an All-Star game. The first was Amos Otis back in '73. The most recent, Salvador Perez. Just twice in the last 23 years have the Royals had a starter, and 5 times in the last 29. Saberhagen, Jackson, Tartable, Dye, and Perez. Unbelievable to see all 5 of those. And Salvador, guys, leading the voting in the American League. Only once has a Royal led the voting in the American League. That was Bo Jackson in '89.
And he promptly led off with a home run that game off of Rick Russell at the Big A in Anaheim.
No disappointment there.
If Salvy's leading off the game, that'll be an interesting strategy by Ned.
He's got pretty good numbers leading off an inning, though, doesn't he?
He does, as a matter of fact. But look, it's a byproduct of the style of baseball they play, the popularity they gained last year by capturing the world, by them all watching how you score runs and win games in postseason without home run, although the home run ball did show up. But the Royals set the blueprint last year on pitching defense and stealing bases. And so I'm happy to see this, but I'm not surprised. I'll tell you that.
No, and I think it helps when you're at home like the Royals were for the last week and a half, and you're getting that message out to people at the ballpark. But in this day and age with the internet too, I mean, come on, everybody's jumping online and voting. So hopefully they continue to do that. But they've become household names, not just in Kansas City, but after last October around the country. People now know who Alex Gordon is. People know who Lorenzo Cain is. This is not new. These aren't new players anymore.
No. So folks, we have 2 more months before the All-Star game. So plenty of time to vote. 35 votes a day. Continue to do that because we want to see our guys in there. We want it to be a Royal Blue Royals All-Star and then the rest of the league. Great showcase.
I think I saw some comments from Alex Gordon. I think Jeffrey Flanagan had tweeted them out, and I don't remember exactly what they were, commenting about, well, we played a lot of meaningful baseball in October, so a lot of people know who we were. Plus, we got in a lot of fights earlier this year. That sounds like Alex.
Brett Gardner comes up and makes the play on Alex. 2 fly balls to left for Alex tonight. I had a chance to visit with Alex before the game tonight, and there's going to be a story in the New York Times about the rapid increase in popularity of the Royals, not only in Kansas City but nationally, and they're visiting with Alex about that, and just what does he think when he comes to the ballpark now, having lived through what he lived through in the development years, the bleaker years, and now, I mean, Kauffman Stadium is packed almost every night, certainly on the weekends, but 30,000 even on a rainy Wednesday night. Right now, if the voting ended, he and 4 others would be starters in the All-Star game. The Royals are on the cover of Sports Illustrated again. Television ratings, thanks to you viewers, it's the highest television ratings in Major League Baseball. And it'll be Eric Hosmer. What a great cover. Hear them roar.
Believe that.
I was talking to Alex. I mean, what's it? I mean, could you ever have imagined this? And he said, you know, probably not quite this, but he felt like, you know, it was happening. He saw the younger players in spring training, and he would hear from the development people about the abilities of the younger players, and then they would get called up to the big leagues, and he would see them firsthand and knew that the Royals had a chance. But it's not just Kansas City and the 5-state region, but the country is, per the voting results. I mean, that's just not Royals fans putting Royals in 5 starting positions right now. That's voting across the country that are voting for the Royals.
And that's because the world tuned in to October last year, and they remember these guys. They made a big impression on a lot of people.
You know, I was talking last homestand, I think, with Mitch Meyer, and he reminded me of something that we heard a while back. He was talking about Zach Greinke. Remember when Zach spoke out wanting to be traded? And that obviously didn't go over very well. But Zach's point, maybe he saw this coming too, was they're developing all these guys, you know, all these young guys that are coming up. And by the time that happens and they're developed and they're really good, I'm going to be a free agent and I'm going to be gone anyway. And it's that trade that helped further things along, getting a Lorenzo Cain and a Salvador Perez. And so maybe Zach Greinke knew that this was going to happen too, but hey, I'm not going to be
and
here.
Didn't want to go to the World Series?
So, well, he would have been gone though, right? And so, okay, he went and he's done things in other places, and that's great, good for him. But the point about, hey, eventually these guys might develop, just maybe not when I'm there, has come true. Now he's a Dodger.
3-2 on Sal. Boy, Adam Warren, 94 miles an hour. He has 5 strikeouts and 5 scoreless innings. The Royals have 1 runner so far tonight. Vote Royals. Royals.com/vote. focus with Joe Blanton. So Blanton's on for the 5th. He's a Chevy call to the bullpen and making his 3rd appearance as a member of the Royals.
Joe Blanton, good fastball, 88-93. He can move it around a little bit. He's got a slider, curve and a change. Try to mix them all in, but he likes to get that fastball established. And this is a lean Joe Blanton. I was talking with him yesterday about his physique, and I watched him pitch in Oakland for a few years, and then in Philly. He was in Philly in the glory days when they in 08 when they won the World Series.
09 they lost to the Yankees.
Right. Madsen was on the team, and he said this team has the same type of energy. He said maybe the Phillies had a little more meat, a little more pop in their lineup in the middle of the order. They had some guys that could really go deep. Of course, that ballpark they play in, our guys would be home run hitters there. But he said he was comfortable pitching at 250. And he said he had a little more on his fastball, but you know, in the evolution of him coming back to the majors, talked about how important it was for his core. His legs and his core. That's your stomach, your lower back muscles, how important those are in baseball and twisting and turning. And he said he really focused on that. His arm always, it never was bad. He never had any problems with it. He just retired. He got tired of it because he wasn't having any fun. Let's take a look at his windup. Almost like from the stretch. A little separation. Stays on top. And use the defense.
Should be a base hit. That ball is hit very hard by Chris Young, and it is. So Young is 1 for 3.
Almost got it in his webbing. Just off the end.
Rodriguez walked and scored in front of Teixeira's home run in the 1st inning, and then he singled in the 3rd.
It's like he's trying to jam Alex, keep the ball in on him. Roll one over to Moose. Rodriguez has only grounded into 2 double plays this season so far.
Big swing, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Black staying with his fastball.
Joel shared that great story about how Blanton got throwing again. Zach Duke, who now pitches for the White Sox, was just looking for someone to play catch with. The 2nd time tonight that Rodriguez has taken a wicked hack and gone down to a knee. Doesn't it seem like when a guy makes a comeback, when a pitcher makes a comeback, it all starts with they were out playing catch. He was playing catch with somebody, or he was working with some high school kids and he was throwing off the mound, and realized that he still had something inside of that arm. And you know, another interesting part about that story is that, you know, while Joe Blanton hasn't reinvented himself, the guy he played catch with, Zach Duke, reinvented himself, changing his arm angle and had a long-term contract from the Chicago White Sox. But Zach Duke just wanted a guy to play catch with, and Joe Blanton realized that he still had some bullets in his arm and some baseball in his heart. Young will go 1st to 3rd on the base hit from Rodriguez, who has been on 3 times. 2 on with 1 out.
Hitters like Alex they can recognize a mistake. Watch him. He flinched for a second, but he just used his hands and kept it inside to shoot it to right. Textbook swing on a breaking ball, especially when you're fooled on it. Watch how he hesitates here to pick it up, and he sees it. His eyes tell his hands what to do. He stayed inside the ball nicely. You know, and it was Zach Duke that told Blanton, you know, the ball's coming out of your hand really nice. It's coming out. It's exploding. And Blanton says, wow, really? Well, that's all it takes. And he wanted to start having fun playing baseball again, and he found the right organization.
And that's part of it too. That's a good point. I mean, you get with the right team that's winning, and they have fun together. That's out into right center field and past Orlando. So Kane has to go get it. Young scores. Rodriguez is going to be waved home, and Teixeira is going to end up with a triple. And that might be the first time all year that Alex Rodriguez scores from first. And Mark Teixeira ends up with a triple. Unless Lorenzo Cain is hit with an error as he was slow to pick the ball up on the warning track. He bobbled it for a moment.
Yeah. Paulo, he made an attempt after it, but then Cain couldn't pick it up. That's what allowed Teixeira to get the third and Alex to score. Blanton finding a little bit too much of the middle of the plate.
4-0 Yankees, and the Royals are forced to bring the infield in. And a little bloop to left field. Alex dives. He caught it. Teixeira tags, and he will be safe. Still a great acrobatic tumbling play by Alex Gordon.
He would have thrown Teixeira out if the ball was up the line to the third base side a little bit more. Teixeira, he's tagging because he knows. He's watched Alex do this before. Look at the athletic roll. Comes up, pulled the throw just a hair, or would have gotten him. Some kind of athlete.
By the way, they ruled that a double for Teixeira, 2 RBIs, and he did go to third on an error charged to Cain. Now Beltran launches it to right field. Foul. And now a pitch away. 1-2 on Beltran. He is singled and flied to center. His 4th inning single stretches his hitting streak to 14 games. That breaking ball stayed up. Been a good night for the Yankee ball boys. Perfect defensively. Yep. That away. Good choice. Little guy brought his glove. I think if you're a ball boy, you first look for a little kid who brought their glove, right?
That's right. You can make the toss easier.
That, and that there was some thinking ahead by the little boy or little girl. They wanted a ball. You don't bring a glove unless you want a ball. I'll be back into the crowd. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily partner of MLB. Enter the promo code BROYAL for free entry. Here were the players to watch for tonight, which includes Eric Hosmer, Jacob deGrom, who was the National League Rookie of the Year. Josh Donaldson has hit his 11th home run. Justin Upton later tonight for the Padres. Hit well to center. Kane is back. He's at the wall. Leaps. He caught it. Lorenzo Kane up against the padded wall in center field. Taking a hit away from Carlos Beltran.
That was special. On contact, he was off to the center field wall. Look, just hung on. Great play.
Outdoors, right stuff, low price, every day. Midtown Manhattan. Yankees leading 5-0 after getting 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now the Royals, who have one base runner so far against Adam Warren, have Omar Infante leading off. And we have Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney. Man, I've been waiting a long time to say that. It's not, you're not inducted yet, but voted in, and man, we're looking forward to August.
Yeah, I can't wait. Right now, Dad's in a hospital at Mayo Clinic in Arizona. He's fighting for his life, and we have August 15th circled on that calendar. And I said, Dad, you got to fight. You got to do whatever you can to get to Kansas City for August 15th. And he says, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm. And I bet he will.
I bet he will.
Yep.
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd bet every penny I have that Big Mike will be there at Kauffman Stadium August 15th.
Now, we're always excited to have you, but was there a special occasion you came to New York? Well, outside of just watching your favorite team?
I wish it was going to be watching the Royals have a comeback tonight and win the series tomorrow. But I came out partly to be a part of this Royals-Yankee series. And then also this morning or this afternoon, I was inducted into the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
It's like a little spring of an offshoot on the tree of the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, but it's like a weed underneath that tree. And it's just for us guys. I think it's a reason for a bunch of Irish people to get together at a pub and have a Guinness.
Oh, way to go.
But it was a good time.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Our Sonic Slam inning contestant as Paulo Orlando comes to the plate. Appropriate with Michael in the booth that it's a Sonic Slam inning. Dewey Collins from KCMO, and if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Dewey wins $900. Of course, if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Dewey wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Man.
Now, we knew you were going to be here.
Yep.
We were hoping we'd have you up in the booth, and there are plenty of Mike Sweeney highlights, and we're going to show some in a little here, but I started to think, what would be a good Mike Sweeney Yankee highlight since the Royals are playing the Yankees.
Yeah.
And here it is, our AT&T Uverse Rewind. A game-winning home run, right? No. A straight steal of home.
To bring the house down.
About that. Now there's another part of this story that I had forgotten about. I remembered it was Andy Pettitte, but it's Andy Pettitte pitching out of the stretch.
When I saw that earlier today, I came out of my seat, Mike. That's a play that, you know, they don't call that. They don't give you that. That's an instinctive play. You believed you could take it. You did.
Yeah, and you guys all remember third base coach Rich Dower at that moment.
Yeah.
I looked in. We had Aaron Guile hitting, and I said, man, I think I could steal home. Aaron Guile's 0 for 2 strikeouts. And Richie tells me, hey, if you make it, you'll be on SportsCenter tonight, and starts laughing. And as I look around Kauffman Stadium at 30,000 people, I'm thinking that's not the answer I wanted. But with 2 strikes, I said, what the heck, I'm going to give it a shot, and I did.
Paulo Orlando the other way. And it's
Sonic slam, baby.
first major league home run for Paulo Orlando.
You did it in the Bronx.
Oh, baby, he's going to remember this day forever.
Swing Dog, you're going to have to stay. You're bringing some fortune. Yeah, throw that ball back, please.
Thank you, Yankee fans. That guy just gave up an autographed ball and bat and who knows what.
You know what? I got the chills right now because right now in Rio de Janeiro, there's hundreds of Paulo Orlando family and friends that are crying their eyes out right this second, watching this game live.
And he wins Dewey Collins $900.
Nice.
Oh, Hud. Hey, you guys all remember your first hit, your first major league home run.
That's right.
Ryan remembers his first minor league home run, but Paulo Orlando's going to remember this night, this moment forever.
Good pitch, too. Down, he had to lift it. Oh, that's special.
For the record, Michael, my next minor league home run will be my first minor league home run. But thanks anyway.
You were a lot like Dyson, man. You built your game on speed, defense, and slapping the ball around.
That's right.
Oh, good for him. And before the game last night, he was on the field and he was having a teammate take a picture of him at Yankee Stadium. You know, what a thrill for him, and sending it back to friends and family in Brazil. And once you know, he ends up hitting his first big league home run here.
Oh, man. A couple weeks back, I was with you guys in Anaheim, and I ran into Paulo before the game, and he talking about his first hit, the triple he hit in the big leagues, and he said his family all home. He said his mom, his sisters, everyone was crying as they were watching the video of him hitting that triple, and it was just a beautiful thing.
Escobar flies out to Chris Young. 2 down. Well, this is not just a good ballpark for left-hand batters to go to right field.
You know, a lot of guys that play here at Yankee Stadium will tell you there's a jet stream that blows out where the upper tank and right field comes together with the scoreboard area, and that jet stream blows right out to right field, and that's right where Paulo hit it. And unfortunately, Yankee hitters have been hitting that jet stream for quite some time these last 5 or 6 years, and it seemed like it was the same jet stream at old Yankee Stadium as well.
That steal of home was impressive. That's the first time I've ever seen that. I didn't know you did that. Usually that's, you know, a guy with a lot of speed will do that. But, you know, that was great, especially when you did it. It was meaningful.
Yeah, 1-1 game, 7th inning.
You guys end up winning the game?
Our bullpen gave it up.
Oh.
We didn't have the guys we got in the bullpen today.
Okay.
Tell you what, Hud, a few years after that, Michael went to the Mariners, and he did the same thing against the Royals in Seattle. Yeah. He stole home.
You did it again?
He was an animal.
How many times have you done that?
It was just called ambush, man. You put on the war paint, put on a little camo, and when they're not looking, you go ahead and take it.
Who was pitcher?
I can't remember that one, but I do want to go back to Andy Pettitte. So about 2-3 months later, I'm in the weight room with him, and I'm working out, and Andy says, hey, Sweens, I got to tell you, I didn't mind you stealing home, but Sports Illustrated came and did a big article on you, of all people, stealing home. Well, he said, Jacoby Ellsbury read the article. He stole home on me right after the Sports Illustrated article came out, because you said I close my eyes after I get the sign from Posada. I come take a big deep breath, come set and throw. And then he said someone else just last week stole home again against me. So he said, I don't mind you stealing home, but next time you do it, just don't tell Sports Illustrated.
You put the scouting report out there for the rest of the league.
They asked me a question, and I've never told a lie when a reporter looks at me. So he said, how'd you do it? And I told him. Hey, how about Moose's transformation this year, guys? It's just been a thing of beauty.
And without a shift, that's probably in between third and short. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Paulo Orlando. After parts of 10 seasons in the minor leagues, that's his first major league home run off of Adam Warren. May 26, 2015 at Yankee Stadium. In New York, Michael being inducted into the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. Little known that Don Wakamatsu is also Irish American too. No,
yeah.
Maybe not.
No, he did. He actually won the Joe Castiglione I Didn't Know You Were Irish award. So Waka apparently has an immigrant grandmother from Ireland who married his Japanese grandfather. That a baby. And Don Wakamatsu won the Joe Castiglione I Didn't Know You Were Irish award.
Oh, that's great.
And it was beautiful to hear Wak share his heart about how he had his grandfather's Japanese side. You know, we had a story when Jojima was catching in Seattle with Wak, and King Felix was pitching, and Jojima wasn't doing so hot. And Jojima came in one day and says, "Man, Wak, you racist." And Wak said, "What do you mean I'm racist?" And he says, "Man, you don't catch me." He says, "Well, my Japanese side says to catch you, but my Irish side says you're crazy. I'm not catching you." So Wak was great.
So is Paul O'Neill in the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame?
Paul O'Neill is. In fact, I summarized my speech today with a great Paul O'Neill story from Old Yankee Stadium. We were playing at Old Yankee Stadium, and it was a 4-3 game in about the 6th or 7th inning, and packed house. And there's Paul O'Neill. Hey, Paulie. Circle that guy, Rex. And Paul comes up, his first 2 at-bats, every ball that was called a strike on him, he thought the umpire had it out for him. So he's giving the umpire, I can't give you his name, but we'll just call him Richie, okay? And Richie says, "Doggone it, Paul, every time I call a strike on you, you wear me out." And Paul says, you don't know anything. You don't know your head from a baseball, and you don't know the strike zone, Richie, and blah, blah, blah. So we get to the 7th inning. Glendon Rush is pitching. 4-3 game, 50,000 people at Yankee Stadium. And first pitch, Paul O'Neill hits a bases juice, 2 outs. Paul O'Neill hits a ball barely foul for a foul ball. Would have been a home run. Next pitch, he hits one opposite field down the line, 2 feet foul. 4 more foul balls later, and I call time. And I walk out to Glendon Rush, and I said, "Glendon, what do we do here? We've thrown him a sidearm curveball, overhand curveball, fastball, sidearm fastball, changeup. He's on everything. What do we do?" And out comes Richie. And Richie says, "Fellas, what are we doing here?" I said, "Richie, Paul O'Neill's on everything. Everything we've thrown today, I don't know what to throw him." He goes, "Hey, kid, can you hit a glove?" And Glendon looks at Richie and says, "Yeah, I can hit a glove." He says, "Sweeney, sit up a foot outside off the corner. Kid, you hit his glove, I'll ring this guy up. I hate his guts." The next pitch, I set up a foot outside.
Seriously?
And he peppered my glove right square in the belly button, and he rings Paul O'Neill up. And I told the guys today, I said, "You guys have seen the clip of Paul O'Neill beating up a water cooler and throwing his bat in his helmet?" I said, "Well, that was one of them."
So he kept his word.
He kept his word, man.
Oh, it's a beautiful story.
Michael, thanks for coming by, buddy.
That's my joy.
Enjoy the rest of the game, buddy.
Go Royals.
All right.
Thank you.
Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney.
Top of the White Sox 6-5. Cleveland 2-0 over Texas. Boston and Minnesota delayed. Detroit and Oakland coming up later tonight. Our Mazda game break takes us to Wrigley Field. Dexter Fowler with the home run in this one in the first inning. Joe Maddon's Cubs, as they continue to work on the bleachers there, construction. Joe Maddon's Cubs, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, would be in the wild card. Pretty sure that guy could run for mayor. If he gets the Cubs into the playoffs in his first year. We will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, expecting a lot of royal blue in the crowd.
Which has kind of been the case just about everywhere, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I always felt like, Ryan, that we always saw that on the coasts, a lot of transplants, but we're seeing it in bigger numbers, and we're seeing it everywhere we go. Absolutely everywhere, reflective of really the numbers that we're seeing with the ratings that you talked about earlier before. Everyone's paying attention.
Chris Young comes in from right field to get Lorenzo Cain, one down in the 7th inning. In places where we didn't normally see a lot of Royals fans, right? I mean, how about all the Royals fans that we saw when we were in Cleveland? I don't remember that being a place where we'd see a lot of Royals fans. Here comes Joe Girardi. And that's going to be it for Adam Warren, who gives up 1 run, 2 hits in 6 1/3 innings.
Well, Royals are happy about this. Get him out. Great job he did.
Chevy call to the bullpen for New York. the exclusive opportunity to purchase an autographed copy of Dayton Moore's new book, More Than a Season. This book explores the intersection of faith, family, and leadership, and the process of rebuilding a championship culture in Kansas City. 100% of the proceeds from book purchases support Dayton Moore's charity, See You in the Major League. So for just $25, you can purchase your autographed copy today at Royals.com/more than a season. This is Justin Wilson coming on with one out and nobody on in the 7th inning.
Royals just weren't able to do anything against Adam Warren. Warren had them pitching, had them swinging out of the strike zone. He really had some good stuff, and his offense supplied him with some runs.
Hosmer was 0 for 2 against Adam Warren, or rather, against Adam Warren, and facing Justin Wilson. The Royals got a couple of looks at him during the 3-game series in Kansas City. Hosmer faced him once and walked.
Hosmer 281 against the lefties this year. The Royals offense overall 296. Good numbers against southpaws. They've got to get the ball up, though. They're swinging out of the strike zone tonight.
There's a pitch up, and it's pounded out to Gregorius. 2 down. Well, minus that back end of the bullpen, which is as good as the Royals' back end of the bullpen. Their pitching staff has a 4.36 ERA. Their bullpen has a 4.36 ERA. So the bridge from the starter to Betances and Miller has been a challenge. Andrew Miller in his first year as Yankee closer. Dellin Betances in his second year as setup man. The Yankees have a more balance, righties and lefties in their bullpen, than the Royals do. That's right off the tip of Drew's glove, and Kendrys Morales has his first hit. The Yankees have 4 lefties in their bullpen, 3 righties.
Well, Yankee Stadium and that short porch, great effort there, just couldn't get it. I think they like to bring the lefties in and nullify any left-handed power. Sometimes you're going to configure your pitching staff to go around your ballpark. Whereas starter for the Royals, Chris Young, was so attractive to Dayton Moore that he knows he's a fly ball pitcher, and he thought he'd be a good fit at the K. Now he's going tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep those fly balls in this yard.
Alex has flied out to left field twice tonight. He also faced Justin Wilson during the last homestand, and in one at bat had a single. This time Drew makes the play, and that ends the inning. So Warren gets the first out. Wilson gets the next 2. Stretch time in New York. The Yankees lead 5-1. rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. We've had a very pleasant 2 days so far in the Bronx, New York, as far as the weather goes. On the field has been a different story. Jason Vargas coming back from the disabled list. He gave up 2 runs in 4 innings. Here are the sprint cuts of the game.
He was sharp with his stuff. There's no doubt about it. He looked good. He looked very crisp. Everything that Dave Island expected from him today. However, like Dave said, we just don't know until we see him. But we expect Vargas to be sharp as normal, and he was outside of 1 pitch. Teixeira hit a 2-run homer off him. Other than that, he looked like the same old good Vargas. And that's a breath of fresh air. We'll take it.
Joe Blanton went 2 innings and allowed 3 runs. 1 run was unearned. And now Kelvin Herrera will come on for the bottom of the 7th inning. Back to your point about Dave Island, you just don't know about Jason Vargas until you get him back out to the mound. Vargas threw quite a bit while he was on the disabled list. He pitched some simulated games. He had some side bullpen sessions. And Ned Yost was asked every day, how did Vargas look? Well, he looked good. Is he still on track? Well, we don't know, because with a pitcher coming back from an injury, there's 2 parts to the recovery. How does he look on the mound, and how does he feel the next day after throwing? How does his arm bounce back? And so there is pitching a simulated game, there's pitching on the side, and then there's pitching on the mound at Yankee Stadium in a real game. And we'll see how Vargas bounces back tomorrow and how he bounces back in his next start.
And the fact that they weren't serious about him going out on a rehab start is because he's a veteran. He's been there. And you're going to take a guy with a track record, you're going to take his word. Hey, look, I'm ready to go. Especially Vargas, as easy going as he is. So far in this Yankee series, the offense has kind of sputtered a little bit. They're not scoring any runs. They're in a little bit of a funk right now, offensively. And it's bound to happen. As great as the offense was on that last homestand at the K, it's just the way baseball is. Sometimes it has a way of even things out. The Yankees had lost 6 straight coming into this series here, and they opened up on Guthrie yesterday. Now they have a little bit of mojo going. And most baseball fans that understand baseball know that it comes in cycles.
Brett Gardner is 0 for 3, 2 at-bats against Vargas, 1 at-bat against Blanton. He is leading off an inning for the 3rd time tonight. Two and 1.
Got to be tough to catch Herrera. Herrera's ball moves. And that fastball heavy, 98 to 100. Change up at 88 to 90. A lot of movement. Great location.
Was that more movement than last year? I
Sure
remember
looks
him
like
being more of just a 4-seam coming right at you straight as an arrow.
That 2-seamer is really nasty. And that late movement is what the hitter misses. He thinks he's going to barrel it, and it hits off the end of his bat and lost the hitter.
Well, we've been talking about all the Royals fans following the Royals on the road. A lot of Royals fans here in New York. And the next time you're looking for great seats, home or away, go to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Every ticket, every day. Plus, with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Royals tickets anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone. Chris Young is 1 for 3 against Joe Blanton. He had an infield single and scored on Teixeira's 2-run double. Mark Teixeira has driven in 4 of the 5 Yankee runs. Ball just kind of flew out of Sal's glove in transition from glove to throwing hand.
It's because he wanted to pick it off, pick off Gardner. You know, he has so many weapons, Salvador does, and he can't wait to use them. He likes to throw behind bases. And that is welcomed by all recipients, the infielders. They love catchers that have the ability to throw behind guys, so they can help that pitcher and get a quick out. Herrera getting that ball home awfully quick. I mean, barely coming to a stop. Wouldn't expect Gardner to be taken off. He didn't against Vargas. He's got a pretty good lead.
Number 24. I see a Yankee with number 24, and I think of Robinson Cano. Has been gone for a couple of years now.
You know, speaking of Cano, Yankees could really use him. Changeup's hard to hit. Don't feel bad. That's a wicked pitch there, especially after that hard 98-8. Got some movement back into the righty. See how Alex handles this type of velocity.
Kind of backed out as Herrera delivered that pitch at 98. He has only faced Herrera once before tonight. 0 for 1. 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored tonight. Alex Rodriguez is still 1 RBI shy of tying Lou Gehrig for most in American League history and 3rd in Major League history. So 1 RBI shy of that and 8 RBI shy of 2,000 for his career.
You play in the big leagues 20 years. He's in his 21st year. You're going to put up some numbers. It's a long time. I've never heard anybody say the Royals defense is like the Harlem Globetrotters. They invent plays.
Well, he's right. Was it the homestand or was it the Texas series that they had that one inning where there were balls deflected but somebody was backing them up and they had the goofy combination plays on ground balls?
That was at the K for Blanton in Blanton's first
okay,
start
that's
here
right.
as a Royal.
That's right. Alex is back. That was down toward the end of the bat. 2 down, and Gardner's back to first base. And now let's see what Herrera does with Mark Teixeira. Teixeira had been just 1 for 16. 1 for his last 16. That one hit was a home run, by the way. But tonight, a 2-run home run in the first inning and a 2-run double in the 5th. The home run as a right-hand batter, the double as a left-hand batter. Herrera staying away from Teixeira. 2 balls and no strikes. Teixeira is second in the league in home runs with 14. Nelson Cruz of Seattle has already hit 17 home runs. No swing. Mark Wegner is the third base umpire. 3-0.
What a difference being healthy, especially when you're a hitter and you had wrist surgery. What a difference. He said last year playing hurt with my wrist, it was a nightmare. Every night I would go home and I had to wake up the next morning and go to treatment, stay after games and ice. He says it was a pain. So this winter he concentrated on stretching and working at that wrist, and the pain's gone now, and he said it's a whole the game's fun again. When most of these players have a little something, a little nagging, but when you're a hitter in your hand, your wrist, something's going on there, man, you're going to have a tough time producing. Ooh.
Escobar makes a leaping play behind second base, and that's what it takes to get Mark Teixeira out.
There you go.
Shot from Jose Bautista, and right now a lot of offense in this one. 6-6. The White Sox and Blue Jays are tied. We see Dellin Betances into the game. Guys, you heard that story from Mike Sweeney about Paul O'Neill being rung up, and when he was telling that story to Monty and I earlier, Monty said, wait a minute, I think that was me. I think I was the pitcher. And he said, no, it was Glendon Rush. Well, that must have happened more than once, because I went back and looked, and that same umpire that Mike was kind of referring to had a similar type of game where Monty was finishing it out, striking out his first ever minor league roommate, Paul O'Neill, and the same umpire rang him up 4 times that day. So,
really,
Monty was sure that story involved him. No, there just was another story that involved him.
There was a well-established relationship there, huh?
I guess when they retired Paul O'Neill's number here, that umpire was not on hand to give a speech.
Yeah, you know, I always was as kind as I could be to the umpires because I needed it. Paul O'Neill, he was a superstar. But when you don't play all the time, heck, I was.
Didn't you have one umpire throw you out in the spring training game?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah, that's Marty Foster.
Where's he at? Oh, right.
He's right behind the dish.
Anyway, carry on.
No, but you know, look, Paul O'Neill was a tyrant, man. He really took his hitting seriously. He was not afraid to voice his displeasure.
He ran a little hot at times.
I would say he was a snap artist. Dellin Betances, 90-99 with that fastball. Slider, big curve. Ooh. get hit by that baby. Major league hitters love fastballs. They don't care how hard either, as long as they're out over the plate. I put a little wrinkle on that one. Just to confirm that, I was talking with Hosmer in the clubhouse today, and I said, hey, Hos, do the hitters still love the fastball? You better believe it, Hud. It don't matter how hard. Same thing I say. If it's down the middle, we'll hit it. It's the challenge of it.
99. Tough night for Salvador. That's his third strikeout. And for Betances, that's 36 strikeouts and 24 in the third innings.
When it's up there, it's hard to barrel.
He has allowed 8 hits in 24 in the third innings. Infante is grounded out to second and flied out to right field.
Slider, it's equally as effective, especially when the hitter's looking for 99.
"37 strikeouts for Betances. That leads all American League relievers. Now 2 down to Paulo Orlando, who had an at-bat he will never forget in the 6th inning.
He flipped that bat down. You know, he hit it good. Hitters don't do that unless they know they got a good piece of it, but he's off to the races. He was thinking triple. But you're in a ballpark like this, first big league homer. Welcome. You have worked hard for this opportunity you're getting, and you're taking advantage of it. Gotta love it.
Now, word on the street is that that fan who ended up with the ball in right field and threw it back on the field, and Mike Sweeney was up here, and we were saying, you know, hey, thanks, appreciate it. That's his first big league home run. I mean, usually you can get an autographed ball, you can get an autographed bat in exchange, but apparently that savvy fan in right field, like it's been caught so many times at Wrigley Field, ran over to a little bag that he had, put the home run ball in it, and probably pulled out a little $3 Little League ball, and that's what he threw back on the field.
Oh, that's not good. They'll have to hunt the real deal. And if it was anything but a major league ball, whoever got that ball in the dugout, they said, uh-oh, we've been sabotaged. Hopefully he gets it back.
Well, 99 miles an hour, and then a slider that he throws right at your leg, and it slides in for a strike.
Doesn't make hitting fun when you have to face a guy like that. Although they do like the challenge. You're not supposed to get a hit off a guy like that, but if you do, it makes you look good.
So he strikes out the side to add to his league lead, 38 strikeouts for a reliever. 5-1. Wildcat fans, show your school pride. We hope you'll get to Kauffman Stadium on Sunday, a week from Sunday, as the Royals host the Rangers for the annual K-State Day. The first 3,500 fans who bring their special K-State Day ticket to the designated table will receive this limited edition purple and gray KC Royals K-State cap, courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. And the tickets go fast for these university days, so go to Royals.com/special events now to reserve your spot. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty. Spent some time talking about Adam Warren. Warren going 6 1/3 innings, holding the Royals to 1 run on 2 hits. And the night of Mark Teixeira, who is driven in 4 with a 2-run home run and a 2-run double. And now we'll see what Chase Headley, Carlos Beltran, and Stephen Drew do with Wade Davis, who is yet to allow a run this year. 19 innings, 8 hits, no runs. And he's 0-2 with Headley. Headley is driven in the other run as Teixeira has driven in 4. Headley on a sacrifice fly back in the 5th inning. Got Mark Teixeira to the plate. Just nicked it foul. Andrew Miller on your left. He's a lefty and the Yankee closer. And David Carpenter on your right. Outside at 98 miles an hour, 2-2.
Waiter's good and strong. Overhand curve and a cutter.
The 19 scoreless innings for Wade Davis is now the longest streak in the major leagues. Still 2-2. And now 3-2 on Headley. Carlos Beltran is the next scheduled hitter, but now Slade Heathcott, the rookie who hit his first big league home run yesterday, has taken over on deck. And Headley takes a walk coming back from 0-2. Fox Sports Kansas City is supporting the Paul Splittorff Memorial Golf Classic. That's on June 1st at Lakewood Oaks Golf Club. You can purchase sponsorships of foursomes to benefit the Wellness Center at St. Mary's Manor. Call 816-220-4228 or look for Split Golf on Facebook. June 1st, Lakewood Oaks Golf Club. Crack bat, and it's 1-1 on Heathcott. Hit his first major league home run in the bottom of the 7th inning yesterday against Greg Holland. So every first major league home run is special. It doesn't matter who you hit it off of in the big leagues, but Heathcott hit it off the first ever recipient of the Mariano Rivera American League Reliever of the Year award winner. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, you did a good job, though. Yeah, you know, Heathcott, for as much as this young man's been through in his personal life, this is really, I'm really happy to see him getting up here, performing, you know, trying to move past some of the issues that he's had as a young player, young person. Didn't have a huge influence from his father growing up. He had some issues with alcohol. Had to do a rehab assignment, you know, to try to clean himself up a little bit. Hard ball player, you know. Injuries, 2 knee surgeries, couple shoulders. He's really taken a tough road to get here, but he's here.
Alex runs to the line and makes the play. 1 down. And now Davis will get Stephen Drew.
It's a pretty good plate appearance by the rookie off of one of the best relievers in baseball.
Yeah, you and I heard the same stories. He was separated, Heathcott was, from his mother and his stepfather. His final 2 years of high school, his stepfather was in prison. Got into some trouble in high school, got into some trouble in the minor leagues with the Yankees. Gordon comes up in left field and makes a play on Stephen Drew. Yankees wanted to help him not only as a professional baseball player but as a human being, and he accepted that help, turned his life around, and a first-round pick back in 2009 is now a big leaguer with a home run against one of the best relievers in the game. And did you read his list of injuries?
I did.
I mean, he's had 3 knee surgeries. He's had 2 shoulder surgeries. Murphy hits it toward the right field corner. Orlando is there, and that's the inning. The Royals are down by 4. Will they see Miller or Carpenter? Looks like Miller. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery in the Bronx, New York. Our producer is Christian Roberts. with director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. Alcides Escobar is 0 for 3 so far tonight, and now just 5 hits in his last 37 at-bats. And he'll be facing Andrew Miller, who comes on in a non-save situation. Miller in his first year, not only as Yankee closer, but as closer, period. He is 13 out of 13. He has only allowed 2 earned runs in 19 1/3 innings. 19 2/3 innings. And he was a bit of a question mark. Of course, the Yankees had Mariano Rivera all those years, and then David Robertson, who was the heir apparent, who set up for Mariano Rivera. And Robertson only ended up having 1 year as full-time closer with the Yankees. Post Mariano Rivera, he had 39 saves. He left. And Andrew Miller had 1 career save when the Yankees pulled up the armored truck to his driveway and said, come to New York and close down the games for us.
Stuff sells. They knew he had the goods. And I think Rothschild, the pitching coach here, he figured in spring training they just leave Betances right where he was and let's see what Miller can do. And so far he's hadn't disappointed. 6'7", 210 pounds, 95 to 97 with that fastball. Slider. Change up to righties.
Broken bat, base hit, Mike Moustakas. And for Mike Moustakas, that is 17 multi-hit games. And we've been playing this game all year. He still has a tongue depressor as the leftover of his bat. So Rusty Kuntz, if he wants to, can check and see if Moustakas has tonsillitis or not. But Mike Moustakas was 17 multi-hit games, and we've been playing the game. How many this year compared to last year?
Okay, watch his hand. He see in his left hand that piece of wood is stuck in it. He said, got a souvenir.
He has the same number of multi-hit games in game 45 as he did all of last season, 17. Lorenzo Cain has got some wild swings tonight. 0 for 3. One of those outs was a line out to left field in the 4th inning.
And that's been one of the problems here coming into New York. A little over aggressive. Guys are not swinging at their pitches. Trying to do too much. And it happens. We'll have a chance to try to get it right against Pineda tomorrow. Who's a strike thrower? That could help. Actually, that could be the pitcher that helps them come out of their little 3-game spell here.
Well, as it stands right now, we'll see what happens in the 9th inning, but this would be 3 straight games where the Royals have scored 1 run.
Wow. It happens.
And that's past Headley. So that helps. Moustakas stops at second. Cain's at first.
Headley's 10th error.
Andrew Miller was a first-round pick in 2006 of the Tigers. He got to the big leagues that same year and just kind of languished as a big league starter, then the move to the bullpen, and it's happened so many times, resurrecting a career. And much different, much better numbers as a big league reliever, especially in the department of opponents' batting average. One ball, one strike.
It's those long legs at 6'7" and arms. He slings it. That's really tough on a left-handed batter to try to hit that breaking ball. He's the Wizard of Haas.
Chasing a pitch up at 95, and he immediately asked home plate umpire Marty Foster if he had chased a strike.
Got to look for the fastball. Try to adjust anything else. Lay one out to left field if you have to. Keep it running.
Just outside, 97. You figure, man, this is a nightmare if you're a left-hand batter facing this guy. But Hosmer's done well against Andrew Miller. 9 at-bats, 4 hits. Down on strikes. That's Miller's first. And now 2 down in the 9th inning.
Just, he's got a lot of weapons. He took a lot off of this pitch here and just kind of laid it down in the dirt at 84. A great Fuller pitch. Oz couldn't resist. So great pitch to throw off the timing.
Not many opportunities for the Royals tonight. That was their first chance with a runner in scoring position all night, and it came with 1 out in the 9th inning. Royals need 1 more base runner for a chance. Morales singled in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3.
Go ahead and pop one out of here.
Big sweeping breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kendrys has 1 of his 6 home runs from this side of the plate. To right field. Young backpedals onto the track, and it wasn't quite enough. The Yankees have won the series. They have outscored the Royals 19-2 in the first 2 games of the series. And the Royals, for the first time this year, have lost 3 games in a row. Final score 5-1 New York. We'll be right back.